All right, I hope that you guys can hear me well. I'll need to check the orientation here. Let's see if the orientation is live. Orientation on the, see if the orientation is looking well on the screen. I hope it is. Let's see what's happening. Oh, let me change it. Is that how you do the orientation? I thought that the orientation would be different on face or on. I thought that the orientation would be different on YouTube, but maybe not on face or on. I thought that the orientation would be different on YouTube. So peace, blessings, love, and light. Amitabha. Amitabha. Brothers, sisters, people of the world who actually are turning into this channel. My name is Bante Panya. Ma also Jihue. Jihue is my Mahayana name. And when I was practicing under the Theravada order, it was Bante Panya. I'm a Buddhist monk of about 10 years, living through Southeast Asia, and I'm still in Asia at the moment. I'm currently living in Vietnam. And I like to come on from time to time. Usually I don't really come on too much of YouTube. I'm always on TikTok. I'm a big TikTok guy. And I usually come on there for my Dharma talks. I get a better reply, better response there. Make sure you guys can see my pretty face. Better. So today's topic, which I thought was really interesting and something that was going to be beneficial for us in the Dharma, is talking about a safe space. And the meaning of having a safe space. We keep hearing that nowadays. People want to formulate safe spaces. I need to have a safe space while I drink my coffee. You guys, make sure that you comment in the chat section and be as much interactive as you can, because I like to see if anybody is there and where you guys are coming from. So, I guess we shall begin. And safe space, we have to realize that, what does that even really mean? Safe from what? What are you saving yourself from or for? What are you saving yourself from or for? And safe from what? Safe from who? These things are very relevant and they're important for you to understand. You know, you have today's circle, today's world, where people are making safe spaces to exclude others. They have safe spaces so they can get together to feel no type of accountability for the wrong thinkings, the wrong feelings, the wrong planning. They meet up with others to have the wrong idea altogether, so they can escape accountability for the evil or misjudgments that they misjudgments or harmful things that they perpetuate with their actions. My window just flew open. If it's too noisy, you guys, please let me know so I can close the window. It kind of opened up a little bit. I don't want it to be too noisy, but I like to have some fresh air. Now, according to the Dharma, or according to the Buddha, the Dharma, a safe space for us is a place where we can come to practice the art, the culture of generosity, the practice of meditation, mindfulness, and develop the skills of being selfless, the craft of cultivating wisdom, development of morality, which is another trigger word that a lot of people in the West don't even like. They don't like this word morality because morality is almost similar or synonymous to the word accountability. You do this and this happens, where cause and effect is very in front of you. Cause and effect happens right in front of your face. So a lot of people don't like the word morality. A lot of people don't like that cause and effect is actually real. And your actions, your choices, and your thoughts have a ripple effect, and they come back to you, good or bad, or even neutral. So when we talk about having a safe space, what do we really mean? We mean we want to have a place where we have the freedom to articulate and cultivate without persecution. This is not a safe space so we can meet others that have the wrong idea so we can force those ideas on others. Having a safe space is only a title. It's all about what it creates, not the title. We have people nowadays in the world who are creating a so-called safe space where they come together to create a system where they talk about how they're going to starve, create a genocide, eradicate other human beings on the planet. And they're in their so-called safe space. There are people on the planet right now, maybe even next door to you, that are coming together in a so-called safe space where they can teach things about indecency to our children. Is this a safe space or not? According to us, no. This is a place of mischief. So we want to make sure that a safe space is real. The first safe space is inside the mind, and I think we do know that. This first safe space is inside of a calm mind. And there's steps that we need to take to even get there. First, we need to have the steps to even get to having the calm mind. One second. The Buddha tells us that if the mind is not calm, then all the other actions and functions are going to follow suit. Do you understand? So the calm, the sanctuary, that peace, that presence is going to be inside of the mind. And there's steps that we need to take to get there. Like, for example, I'll give you an example of a house. So to have a true safe space, is to have the foundation, being the 5 precepts: no lying, no killing, no stealing, no sexual misconduct, and no mind-altering intoxications. That's your foundation. The walls of this foundation will be the 4 Noble Truths. The 4 Noble Truths will be the walls. And the roof of that would be the Eightfold Path. That would be your safe space. And this is a safe space that is not a literal place. It's something that you keep inside your heart and always on the tip of your tongue and always in your insights of your mind. You're thinking about them 24/7. So you have the 5 precepts, the 4 Noble Truths, which is there is unsatisfactory. There's a cause to unsatisfactoriness. There's the extinguishing or getting rid of the unsatisfactoriness and that path that leads to that being the Eightfold Path. The pillars and binders, or the pillars and roof and shingles of that, would be the Eightfold Path. So the Buddhist practitioner is always having his safe space inside of his mind and his heart. And the places we make for it are just outwardly extensions of what that really is. But the first place is inside the heart. But I know a lot of us in the world right now, we live in the West, man. We live in the West. It's cutthroat at times, and also it's a brick jungle out there. It's a concrete jungle. And because it's a concrete jungle, it's not like we just live in the forest and we just, or we live right next to the forest, or it's a calm society where you can kind of let your guard down at any time and people don't really bother you. It's not really like that in Oakland. It's not really like that in Seattle. It's not really like that in the Bay. It's not like that in New York. There's places where you can do that. But, with that being said, the steps to having a little bit of calmness in the mind is what? You have to be physically calm. Physically calm, you have to check your physical ability to accept and be in this type of calmness. Physical safety, mental safety, physical safety is important. You can't have it's really hard to have mental clarity and calmness when you're in physical harm. The Buddha told us this many times, and I'll give you an example. He told us specifically not to meditate under certain types of trees. So the Buddha, he even told us not to actually meditate under certain types of trees. Not because the tree was no good or caused a problem. It's because the tree, sitting underneath that tree, will cause you a big problem. Do you understand what I'm saying? What were those trees? A coconut tree, jackfruit trees, trees that, would cause you harm. Do you know how huge a jackfruit is? Them things are like this big, man. They're huge and they're sharp. Go ahead and meditate underneath there after you get ate alive by ants and have one of those things fall off the tree and bust you in your head. Go ahead and meditate underneath the coconut tree to test your faith until a coconut falls and busts you in your head. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm telling you, make sure that when you find your peace and safe space, it is a place that is. It's a place that welcomes the peace and tranquility that offers the tranquility that you're trying to find. It has to accommodate your peace. So when you're trying to go all in and trying to find this harmony, make sure your surroundings or your place that you're at, you're going to have to go look for them. Don't think it's just going to fall into your lap. You have to go look for them. You really have to go out there and go to a place where you feel comfortable enough to let your guard down so you can talk to yourself, so you can be within yourself and be within your present moment. You want to have a safe space where you're not dodging accountability, but makes you feel comfortable for being accountable. A lot of us, we want to dodge accountability. We want a safe space to dodge accountability. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for a safe space where we can feel accountable without feeling persecuted for being so. Remember, it's about mental clarity. It's about giving up these false and whimsical ideas that we hold on to that have been holding us back. That is noisy. Can you guys give me a second while I close the window? Vietnam is a noisy place. Hold on. Never. Dang, maybe hella noisy. Okay, sorry about that, man. All right, so back to what we're saying is we're not looking for a place that supports confusion. That's not what we're looking for. We want to go to a place where it supports wholesome living, wholesome development. Please, don't feel shy in the chat, man. I can say something. You're a lot, man. Ask a question. Tell me hi. Say hello. Don't just stare at me. I'm not a picture on the wall. Communicate. I don't want to sit here and just talk for nothing. If you have a question, please, you can ask it at any time, I'm trying to change the title, but for some reason I really can't. I don't really know how, but anyway, we can continue going on here. The safe space has to be a place, especially for the practitioner, where they're able to look inside the heart, look inside the heart mind or the mind heart, look inside their citta, and realize that there's work that needs to be done. And it's hard to do so when you sit down and you're always worried about what's going on the outside around you, whether somebody's going to come harm you. So am I going to break into the place or someplace, so something is going to happen? It's really hard to meditate when you're on a train or on the airplane. It's very difficult. I find it difficult to meditate when I am walking through the market. But then again, it also depends on what type of meditation you're going for. You know, it's not like you're going through deep out-of-body experience meditation while you're walking through the market. You know what I'm saying? Blessed love, Joshua Blocker, blessed love. When you're going through the market, it's not like you're trying to go through some, mind-bending meditation. But these are more like mindfulness practice. You guys got to remember that your practice that you apply, you're supposed to use it in situations of difficulty, not ease. The reason why you are practicing meditation, mindfulness, insight meditation, is to apply it when difficulties come. Not when ease is there. It's to apply it when difficulty is there. Don't be deluded by what they say is a safe space. You are your own refuge. The Buddha told you, you are your own refuge. You're your own island. You got to save yourself. It didn't say go somewhere and go to this place and that place is going to be safe. There is an instance where he tells us about the impermanence of all things. Everything is impermanent around you. Even the shopping store, even the corner store you go to changes. Every time you go in there, they got something new and they got something different. Even the park that you walk through daily changes. Leaves fall off and things fall over. Trees fall down. Improvements are made. Improvements are lost. Things change all the time. But if you make the safe space in your heart and mind, that changes. But it changes through your practice. The cultivation of wisdom, sila, samatha, or wisdom, morality, virtue, these things change for the better of yourself. That's the real safe space, my man. That's what I can tell you for sure. We want to grow in the Dharma. We don't want to be a growth on the Dharma. We want to grow in the Dharma. This is the things that we're trying to do. We want to cultivate compassion and wisdom for everyone. We want to cultivate compassion and wisdom for ourselves. We want to be this safe space. You ever be around people who are very wise, or very loved, or a very spiritual person for some of us? They don't even have to say anything. You can look at them. I've literally seen that. People who are deeply spiritual. And they weren't even Buddhist. You understand? It doesn't mean they have to be Buddhist. I'm saying I've seen people who are deeply spiritual, deeply aware, and their aura screams it. They weren't flashy. They weren't doing anything. They were just living their life. And just looking at them, I felt such a great sense of reverence that it made me want to try harder and practice. That is because they have worked on their safe space to where it radiates love and compassion when they walk. It is just like Brother Joshua Blocker said, it is a light that shines on them. It is a light that shines on them, and you are blessed to actually be a part of the radiating warm light. You are blessed to be near that radiating warm light that they gave off. A safe space also means to take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. The Buddha being a great teacher of how to get rid of the defilements of the mind and purify the actions and correct your morality. And to be safe within the Dharma, which is the truth that governs all things in creation. The truth that governs all things in creation, that is the Dharma. The truth, divine truth of what things really are. Nothing less, nothing more. In the whole universe. The Sangha meaning those rightly guided disciples of the Lord Buddha, that they practiced and attained the deathless. They attained nibbana. They attained liberation through their practice and their attachment to, or such a bad word, but to their deep devotion to the Buddha's practice by the things that he taught. Yeah, I mean, like, and tranquility and peace is not, tranquility and peace is not merely designated for Buddhists only. This is not about a title. Remember, those are just words of describing words. They're just descriptions. Christians can have it. Muslims can have it. Hindus can have it. An atheist can have it. This is not about a title. This is about how you use your mind. This is how you use your time. This is about developing wisdom, not developing a title, not developing developing a sect or a group. This is about receiving the truth as it is and applying it so we can be better at being better, be better at being our true, authentic selves. We do tend to radiate what we surround ourselves with. We do tend to radiate what we radiate ourselves with. That's true. I am radiating myself with this coffee, and it is so tasty. I really like coffee. Black coffee. Black coffee is pretty good in the morning. So back to the idea of having a safe space. Remember, having a physical safe space is not going to be enough for you. People think that having a physical safe space will stop and do the job for them of stopping them from dealing with hardships and suffering. If you really think having a physical safe space is enough, then you're setting yourself up for failure. The physical safe space is supplementary. It's not the forthright place to go. It's not the pinnacle of your mindfulness. That is just supplementary. You have to have it in your mind, your heart first, and then you go to the safe space. The temple, wat, masjid, church. These things are just places that are just kind of it's an outwardly material version of your sanctuary. The first sanctuary is the mind. I like black coffee. Mr. Joshua, I do like my black coffee, man, because coffee, creamer, and sugar and all that stuff just makes really, really bad for your health. It makes me really fat. I'm trying to penny pinch and watch my calories here. What are these things here? I don't even know what these are. So, I didn't have much to talk about today, brothers and sisters. I just want to remind you about having that safe space. That was the important part of this mission today, was talk about that. That was about it. If I've said anything that goes against the Buddha, the Dharma, or the Sangha, it is not because they are missing, lacking, or don't have the correct information. It's because I am still growing in the Dharma. I'm just a Buddhist monk and nothing else. I'm your brother on the path here. I'm just a Buddhist monk and a sage. And if you do have any questions, feel free to ask. Or you can catch me on TikTok or maybe Facebook or even here if you like. For me, yeah, that's a good question. You know, it's really confusing to mix God. For me, personally, I don't know about another person, but for me, it's really difficult to mix God and Buddhism together. Because God or gods, they demand a lot from you. And the demand that you don't, anytime you're dealing with God, God demands that you worship him unequivocally with anything else. And God's demands are that you pay full attention to that God or that deity, and you kind of downplay, disrespect, or get rid of any other type of God that you have. And, you know, God likes this and he doesn't like that. God can be very controlling over what you participate with and who and what people. God can be a source of problem for a lot of us. God likes this person. God tells you to kill this one. God doesn't like everybody. He only likes people that participate in the practices that we do. Our gods create wars, and our gods don't like this. And so, for me personally, I don't know about anybody else, but for me personally, I think I'm not saying God doesn't exist or gods don't exist. I just don't think they're necessary to be nice and generous to people. I know how to be nice and kind to people and help people without believing in God. I don't need a God to tell me that somebody's hurting. I need to give them a Band-Aid. I don't need God to tell me somebody needs something to eat, so I need to ask God, do I need to give them food? I think that's I'm more human. I'm more human than that. And it's not saying I hate God or something like that. I'm just, in Buddhism, it doesn't tell you in Buddhism, it doesn't tell you need to believe in God or you give up a God. It just tells you that you just need to be compassionate and true to yourself, what you really need. It doesn't tell you need to believe or not to believe. That's up to you. You can be a believer in God and Buddhist. It just might be a little more difficult. Many times you see in scripture, your God is a jealous God, or my God is a jealous God, and for me, I see that belief in gods is still stuck in samsara. Still stuck in a world of samsara, feelings, anger, jealousies, etc. And that's something I don't find helpful for my growth. And I used to be a believer, by the way. Of course, I used to be a believer. So, it's not like I didn't, not like I'm just saying I've always been Buddhist my whole life. Of course not. I grew up in Abrahamic faith and studied Christianity and Islam for a long time, in detail, not just a little bit, but deeply in detail. So, I know what that's like, believing in God or gods, and I am where I am right now. Bro, I'm gonna tell you right now, deconstructing God is not easy. because that's what we've been born with. You know, we've been raised like that since we were young. This idea of God, or God's over the top of us, God's watching us, God's going to smite you, God's going to, it's the fear. Remember, there is, when we're talking about God, deity, right? There are two reasons why people worship God. The first reason is what? Because of craving. They worship God out of craving. They want something. I want paradise. I want Jinnah. I want heaven. I want a nice car. I want a wife. I want this. I want this. I want this. I want this. That's the first reason people worship God. The second reason is out of fear. I do this because I don't want to go to hell. I do this, I'm scared of the devil. I do this because I'm scared to make you angry. I do this because whatever. So it's because of wanting, cravings, desires, or it's because of out of fear. I want to make you happy. How do you make something that is all powerful and all? I don't understand how that really works, but these are the two reasons why people worship God. Oh, well, I worship God just because I want to make God happy. You want to make God happy? Just do good. Just do your job. Might make him jealous, to be honest with you. Him, her, whatever. It might make him jealous if you just do your job and just do what you have to do. And be kind and be happy. It might make him mad. Well, you have to think about it. See, Joshua Blocker, I don't know if you guys can read it, says, what you're saying makes more sense than following books of men wrote. Well, I mean, you got to think about it. I mean, the men wrote these books, and they swear by their books that they wrote that you're bad, that you're no good, that you are unfit. Men wrote that. I mean, if you really think about it, I think God is very, very removed from the human experience. He's the God of the whole entire universe, and all he wants to do is meddle in your affairs that he knew about, that he already wrote about. He already knows your responses. I mean, the whole story, the whole idea of the God complex, the whole story is kind of problematic for me. If you ask me personally, I think it's kind of problematic, but maybe for another, no. They use genocide for many other things. Yeah, this is very true. God's name was always connected to a genocide. Why is that? Buddha's name has never been used for a genocide. I'm sorry, unless it's happening to us. But Buddha's name has never been used for a genocide, a race war, or any type of rape and pillaging. Buddha's name has never been used for that. I'm sorry, man. But God's name and all the names he has in whatever language you speak, he's tied right along with it. His name's been written on missiles. His name's been written on bow and arrows, carved into people's swords while they're chopping off another human's head that has a different belief. I'm good, bro. That's not appealing to me. It's not appealing to me. Why? Human beings have this bloodlust. We have this bloodlust to destroy each other, and we don't find a justification. What book do we turn to justify our anger, aggressions for not using our mind, our religious text, a reason why, and the God the gods or God that is connected to that religious text that sanctify them for destroying human beings, animals. Animals also. Don't think humans are the only ones. They'll destroy human beings and animals. And animals. The rivers, the seas. And they'll do it unjustifiable because their God or gods told them that it was allowed and they will be blessed for doing that. That ain't no good, man. You have to realize that is not the way that the Buddha interpreted compassion and mercy. He tells you to use your mind, man. Use your brain. We're not allowed to go out and start killing things. Use your mind. You gave up is because you have a twisted sense of morality that I am morality and you're not because of your skin color, your race, your caste, where you came from the north, I came from the south. All these things, all these delusional or illogical ideas is because you have a twisted sense. You have a twisted sense of morality. You have a twisted sense of logic. You have a twisted sense of rationality. It's no good. It doesn't work like that. We are human beings in humanity. We are brothers in humanity. We are true brothers in humanity. That's what we are. We work together. You're not smart. You don't have a brain. You can't sit down and figure out that killing, raping, and pillaging is harmful to everyone. Even the person who is using it against you is harmful to him because he now has to wake up and figure one day, if they get powerful, they're going to come and do the same that I perpetuated on them. They're going to do it to me. You understand what I'm saying? You have to give these things up, man. You got to give them up. You have to give up your inferiority complex. Give it up, bro. Realize that you are nothing but a bunch of flesh, venues. You are blood, veins, and that's not even you. You are a bunch of compartmentalized things that work together. You are a bunch of systems that work together. And guess what? If you take everything about you apart, you're still not there. You're not your ear. You use your ear, you use your eye, you use your nose, but that's not you. That's not it. These are things that help you function. They don't tell where you really are. Your consciousness is a vessel that uses the functions of the body to communicate. But the consciousness is beyond race, it's beyond eyeballs, it's beyond taste, it's beyond sexual desire, it's beyond that. It's a consciousness. Don't you want to be a conscious human being? It's deeper than physical and material. The conscious is separate from the vessel. Remember, we're supposed to, we are gifted with the 5 or maybe 6 senses that we have to engage the world. Okay? To engage the world, not to indulge in the world as if it lasts forever. We're given these senses to engage the world, not to indulge in the world. This is real Buddhist talk, my man. And if you haven't come to that point yet, you're in the wrong place. You're in the wrong safe space. You need to go somewhere where you can contemplate on that deeply. You're in the wrong place. You need to contemplate that something deeply. Brother Joshua said, what is the best book for me to read to learn as a beginner? For a beginner, depending on what you're looking for, if you want to learn about just the basics, what is Buddhism? You know what I'm saying? Maybe you haven't made it to meditation yet. You just want to know an overall, what is Buddhism? There's a book that is called What the Buddha Taught. It's a book, that's the title, What the Buddha Taught. And I like this book because it takes you over the fundamentals of Buddhist idea. It gives the pragmatic, the fundamentals of what Buddhism is and who was Buddha, where he came from, what's going on. The fundamentals, the basic pillars, the foundation of Buddhism. What the Buddha taught. Now, if you're talking about meditation, there's a lot of meditation. The book that I read that affected and changed my whole life was a 3-set volume book by Ajahn Chah Ajahn Chah, and the book was called Introduction to Formal Practice. It's a 3-volume book called Introduction to Formal Practice by Ajahn Chah. Meditation changed my life. Helped me, man. It helped me. It helped me to this. Bro, without that book, I'd have been dead in the water. Introduction to Formal Practice by Ajahn Chah. No, having a basic understanding of the Dharma is what we all have. You know what I'm saying? We don't live, a lot of us, we live in the West. We don't live in Asia where it's perforated through our culture, perforated through this community and society. So we have to really actually go out and look for Buddhism. It's really, you have to look for it, you have to dig for it, which is good, because that will build up some strength, make you resilient, build up courage, It makes you appreciate what you have because you had to spend your time, your energy, and effort going to go look and search for it. So that's not a bad thing at all. Josh, are you coming from the States? Oh, he coming from Bama, boy. That's the Bible Belt. Yeah, it's real difficult coming from especially places like Alabama, Kentucky, the Deep South. There's not really much happening in the Buddhist world there. And they have what we have in America, the big problem is that there is Buddhist centers, but they're not really Buddhist. They're cultural Buddhist centers. They are centers that are made for people who come to America and establish communities within the community. So you have Vietnamese, Chinese, or Asian communities that have Buddhist temples, but they're for their community. They're not there for everybody. They're there to kind of maintain cultural concerns amongst their community. They're not really there to open up for everybody to call Americans and everybody else. They're not centers for the preservation and profligation of the Dharma. They're their culture center. You have a Korean Buddhist center, Vietnamese Buddhist center, Chinese Buddhist center, Thai Buddhist center. As you can tell, because they put their nationality first before the Buddhist center. But American centers, it'd be the Buddhist Center of America or the Buddhist Center or North American Buddhist Center. It's Buddhist center first and then everything afterwards. But them is a little bit different. So it makes you feel like you're not really welcome. You go there and you just kind of sit in the back and nobody's speaking English. I don't really like that. I don't appreciate that. You can't do that in their country, by the way. So if I wanted to open a Buddhist center in Vietnam, China, or whatever, first of all, they'll never allow you. You'll never be allowed to open a Buddhist center in China, Vietnam, or you're done. You'll never be able to do that. Number two, if they did allow that in Thailand, or whatever, and you try to open up a center and it wasn't in, you try to separate yourself, they close you down. But they come to America and they open up Buddhist centers all over, and they've been there for 10, 20 years. And you don't see no Americans in there unless they're married to a member of the community. So that kind of, frustrates me. It frustrates me that they open up all these temples and nobody, they go to the hood and open up these temples and nobody is benefiting from the Dharma. Nobody's benefiting from the Buddha except them. Because they weren't there to spread Dharma. They're there to keep an eye on their culture. They're there to keep their culture in check. It's kind of like they're gatekeeping the Buddha. And when you ask, don't nobody know how to talk to you, act like they don't know how to talk to you. Or they put you in the back and have you sit there until you get bored and you just get up and leave yourself. Nobody wants to interact with you or talk about the Dharma. Remember, these guys who, they might be Buddhist monks and nuns or Buddhist practitioners, but they don't know how to spread the Dharma. You do. They don't know how to spread the Dharma. They're not even taught how to. They're not taught how to spread the Dharma. And if they spread the Dharma to you, it's real corny. Getting corny, then, because they're talking about issues that don't concern your community because they're not a part of your community. They are not part of your community. They are a community in a community, and they barely speak English. I don't really like that. I don't think that's no good, man. I can't do that in their country, so why would they come to Mars and do that? That's not the Dharma anyway. That's not the way that you're spreading the Dharma anyway. You make Buddhism look very seclusionary. You make Buddhism look like it is like the people, the community that you moved into, like they're not good enough for the Dharma. Then what did you come there for? You want you to go back to go back to where you came from then. If we're not good enough for you to spread the Dharma with us, then go back to where you came from, where everybody can be the same minded, the hive mind that you're looking for. But, I mean, there is some, very little. Compared to the Buddhist temples and Buddhist communities in America, there are very little that are very welcoming. Either they are American in themselves, or they might be like Thich Nhat Hanh in the community. They're open, they know how to spread the Dharma, they'll teach you about the Dharma. Maybe the Sri Lankan, some of the Theravada Sri Lankan communities, they might be a little more open-minded and have, centers that are, speaking in English, or they're bringing the Dharma to the world. But a lot of them, they're not. They're just community centers. But let me stop ranting. And the brother Moses and Joshua say the kind of same thing. When you go to the libraries and stuff, you start asking for Buddhism and some of the Bible belts, they kind of look at you weird, like, you're a devil worshiper, or you're into devilry, you're into some magic or something, because they have a wrong interpretation of the Dharma. But that's another thing. That's us to blame, because if we've had the Dharma for so long, and people still think that the Buddha is connected to the devil and all this stuff, then that's because we haven't been doing our job of letting people know what the Dharma is. I'm trying to go a little more live on YouTube. I'm a TikTok kind of guy, so you can find me on TikTok more than anything. And I don't really like Facebook, so I don't really like Facebook. And TikTok is a lot better for me. I'm trying to go more live on YouTube just so I can, update my presence and stuff like that. So whatever. I got a lot of videos on the page here, on my page. You can please subscribe to the page if you get it, and you can see all the videos and the places I've been, the countries I've been to, and the things I learned. All right, you know what, man? I'm going to get off of this. Go ahead and get off of this. I got to do my laundry. My laundry's upstairs. So I'm going to cut you guys short. Please keep me in your prayers. And if I said anything that goes against the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, please forgive me. And it is not the Dharma, it's not the Buddha that is lacking. It is the development of knowledge, and things that I say today might change depending on the information that I get. And that is all I have to say for today. Thank you guys for coming. If you have anything to say, please subscribe to my channel. And yeah, you can also see my webpage, bodhisattvasociety.org, and I'll be there waiting for you. Blessings, peace, blessings, love, and light. Amita Fall, Amita Fall, Amita Fall, Amita Fall.